Welcome to Dharma with Dani. Today we have a Yin Yoga sequence designed to soothe the nervous system and help you have a more relaxed outlook on the day. If that sounds good, let's get started. We're going to start on the mat, so I invite you to come down in whichever way is most graceful and soothing to you. And let's begin by setting an intention for this practice. So finding a place of comfort for your hands, giving those shoulders a nice up, down, and back roll, and gently closing the eyes or softening the gaze. Let's take a few deep breaths as we bring to mind a word or phrase we want to carry with us throughout this Yin Yoga practice. And when you have your word or phrase in your mind's eye, allowing the eyes to gently open. And we're going to start our practice by coming into an extended child's pose. So finding centering on your mat, we're going to extend the knees out to reach the outer edges of your mat, bringing the toes in together and allowing the hips to sink back. If you'd like, you can extend the arms up and allow the forehead to rest on the mat, or you can bring your hands to support your forehead, or even utilize one of your props. You can have a block to rest your forehead on. There are so many choices. I invite you to make the one that feels best for your body in this moment. Connecting with the breath in child's pose. Allowing for soft belly breathing. The air to really fill into the belly, expanding it like a balloon, and gently letting go. Bringing to mind the word or phrase of intention that you decided upon a few moments ago. Gently meditating on that as we take in a few more deep breaths. And when you're ready, gently coming out of our extended child's pose, bringing the knees in towards one another, coming up into tabletop. So let's take a moment to realign, making sure that hips are aligned over knees, shoulders are aligned over wrists, and you can really press into the four corners of your hands with this tabletop position, or coming up onto your fists if that feels better as well. And when you have found that place of comfort and neutrality, I invite you on the in-breath to allow the belly to drop towards the mat. The gaze looks up as we come into cow position. And on the out-breath, reversing that movement, allowing the spine to round as the abdominals draw in, chin to chest, cat pose. Moving through this sequence with your own rate and rhythm of breathing. Not being afraid to really hear your breath. Take up space with your breathing. Giving yourself permission to move and breathe just as you wish. And meeting me back in the middle when you're ready. Engaging in hip circles now. That will look like extending the hip out away from the body, down and back towards the heels of your feet, out to the other side and rounding back up to neutral. So starting maybe with smaller circles and allowing them to get a little bit bigger with each pass through. Releasing some of the tension in the hips. Maybe once more on this direction. And switching directions when you're ready. Allowing the breath to guide the movement. Maybe one more time here. Dropping the hips down and back. Allowing the lower back to release. And coming back up to neutral. From here, we're going to engage in pigeon pose. And probably the easiest way to transition is to bring the knees in towards one another. I'm going to start with this leg. I'm going to allow the leg to sneak up and in front while allowing the back leg to extend backwards. So making any needed adjustments here. Finding extension. You're welcome to stay elevated, allowing the upper body to support you. Or if you're ready, perhaps coming down to the elbows. Or if you'd like, you can even have a block or a prop to rest your forehead on. Really sinking into the hips here. Not only are we finding some expansion in the outer hip and glute area, but also the hip flexor of the extended leg. These deep hip openers also can open up emotions. So if you find any emotions coming up to the surface, simply allowing yourself grace and releasing them to the breath cycle. And when you're ready, we're going to gently unwind the legs. So perhaps coming back up and allowing this knee to come backward. Realigning into our tabletop position and allowing the opposite leg now to come up and through. Back leg extending back and choosing either to stay up, coming down to the elbows, or coming all the way down to the mat, or head resting on your block. Let's explore what feels best on this side. Mindfully directing your out breath into any areas of tension you may be experiencing. This is a deep hip opener into the IT band and glute. So just being mindful of the sensations that you're feeling here and always giving your body grace if you're getting signals that it's a little bit too much. There are always options. You may notice that one side is different than the other, a little bit tighter or a little bit looser. And hey, that's okay. That's perfectly normal. And when you're ready, we're going to gently unwind the legs once more, coming up, moving any extra props out of your way, and sinking back, finding ourselves in easy pose briefly. Now extending the legs outwards, we're going to come into Dandasana or staff pose. And you can leave a generous bend in the knees here, choosing to bring the toes towards the body. So flexing just ever so slightly, giving the shoulders a nice roll up, down, and back, and extending the hands into the floor beneath you. So again, if you would like, and if this is too much on your wrists, you can come up onto blocks as well for the extra support, or even be up on your fists. There's all sorts of options, but we're just finding what feels best for our body. So extending, chest proud, abdominals, contract, drawing in towards the spine, shoulders come down and back. And when you're ready, we're going to gently let go of the hands here, give those wrists a little shake. And coming into forward fold, if you would like, you can place a small bolster or pillow underneath your legs. And our forward fold is simply going to look like extending or folding at the hips, as much of a flat back as possible, and reaching down towards the legs. So we can either fold the legs or maybe end up around the ankles. You can come all the way down to your feet. But really, it's just about finding comfort in this forward fold. Allowing the neck to release. Really just melting, allowing the top half of the body to melt over the bottom. And when you're ready, gently walking the hands back up. We're going to gently come down to the mat now. So allowing ourselves to gently roll back vertebrae by vertebrae. And coming down, allowing the soles of the feet to meet the ground beneath. Let's bring one leg up so it rests on the opposite leg. We're finding our figure four position. And with the hands, allowing them to come down and around so that we're able to hold that leg up. I always like to add on to movements so we get more bang for the buck. So if you'd like to engage in some gentle ankle circles while we're at it, please do so. You can point and flex, bring some extra blood flow, and just noticing what your body is telling you. If you'd like to deepen the stretch, you can bring the knee closer into the body, or if it's too much, allowing it to come away from the body. So exploring here with curiosity. Your body will tell you when it's time to let go, and we'll gently allow that foot to float down. Switching sides now, opposite leg up, 2, top of the other leg, finding that beautiful figure four position, extending the arms out. And let's add on some ankle circumduction in both directions. And exploring again, maybe drawing the knee closer into the body to deepen the stretch, or maybe not so much. There's no right or wrong. This is your yoga practice. Maybe sinking deeper into the stretch every out breath. And when you're ready, allowing that leg to drop back down. Uncrossing the leg now. Bringing the palm, not the palms of the feet, that'd be palms of the hands, right? But the soles of the feet together to meet. Coming into a bound angle pose. So what we're thinking about here is allowing the knees to come apart as much as possible. The soles of the feet to stay together. You can experiment with comfort level. If you need to move the feet away from you, that is fine. Or you can certainly draw them in closer to the body for a deeper stretch. And when you feel settled, perhaps allowing the arms to come up overhead, slowly sinking into the floor beneath you, finding comfort and ease. And if you would like, giving yourselves 2 to 3 more breath cycles here as you melt into this bound angle pose. Your body will tell you when it's time to gently bring the hands back in. I'm choosing to bring them down, palms together, resting here at the forehead. Deep breath in. Allowing the hands to travel down to heart center, bringing the knees back in together. And allowing the legs to float down. For our final resting Shavasana, coming into side laying child's pose. So we're going to bring the knees up in towards the chest. Maybe allowing the arm to be a nice pillow for the head. Wrapping the legs in together. Finding the breath. And in these final moments of practice, once again, bringing to mind the intention that we started the practice with. Imagining the breath cycle flowing from the crown of your head all the way through your body and out through the toes. Letting your breath wrap around you like a warm blanket. bringing comfort and ease. And when you're ready, giving yourself permission to gently and slowly come up to seated position, back to easy pose. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you enjoyed this Yin Yoga sequence. May you all be happy, healthy, safe, and peaceful. I'll see you next time.